This is a Your Last Resorts production.
And welcome back to the Your Last Resort podcast with your host, Brandon Lejeune, a.k.a. The Shoe Comic. This week, my guest, he's a former Ole Miss football long snapper. He's a musician from Nashville. Jack Propst joins us this week on the podcast. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it.
What's going on?
Nothing much, just out here. And where are you at right now? So the listeners know. What state are you in? Nashville?
I'm in Nashville currently. Yep.
Okay. That was stupid of me. I guess that's not really a state. But
oh no, dude, I've been bouncing around. Oh yeah,
okay.
Nashville's not a state.
Hey, all right. So you're joining us on the podcast this week. I really appreciate it. Sorry if that cut right there seems awkward for the listeners. We're just having a few technical difficulties, but everything seems to be all right now. So first off, we start off the podcast with a would you rather, just kind of break the ice. Some people aren't the most comfortable, talking and all that. So I got a would you rather here for you to break the ice.
Oh no.
Would you rather be royalty 3,000 years ago or a normal person today? It's a tough one.
Is that precedented on the fact that I have the knowledge that I currently have, or I'm saying I'm born from birth 3,000 years ago into that royalty, or I am like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it?
Yeah,
like,
or like
it's me currently.
Yeah, no,
currently going to a royalty 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, no. So you're either
if that's
born
the case,
3,000.
I'm staying a normal person.
Okay, you're staying a normal person. Yeah, it's like you're either born 3,000 years ago or you're born whenever you were born and you grow up in today's times. It's up to you which one. I think the royalty sounds nice, because don't get me wrong, like royalty could do whatever the fuck they wanted 3,000 years ago. Like you're living lavishly, but you also might only live to 28.
Think like body odor, dude.
Oh yeah, everyone's gonna smell.
I could care less about 28. I could care less about how old I live, dude. You're walking around with people that don't even know what brushing your teeth means.
I never even thought about that.
I'm gonna stay with normal person.
Okay, yeah, I'm going normal person too. I didn't even think about that, because you're right. There's so many like deodorant, toothpaste, shit that we take for granted in today's times.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow.
COVID,
I never thought
taking your smell away, like low-key a blessing in some situations.
For real. 3,000 years ago, you'd be like, "Oh, I got COVID. Thank God, I don't gotta smell my wife and shit." Like, yeah, man. I never. Yeah, everything would just be grow. Also, like food. There's no way food is as good back then as it is now. Like even though you're royalty,
No.
like a McDonald's cheeseburger has to smash. Or like whatever royalty ate 3,000 years ago, like infinitely better.
I would think so,
because we got
because they have no reference.
Yeah, we got trans fats. And shit,
it's all natural.
Yeah, which is
they're probably healthier.
Which is ironic that they just didn't have modern medicine. That's what killed everyone back then. Was just like you get like the flu, and you were fucked. Like. That'd be so awful. Okay, so I'm going to stick with you, and I'm going to go with the be a normal person in today's time. Now we'll do some other segments throughout the podcast and all that, but I want to talk to you more about your music. So I met you through a mutual friend. We met down in San Diego, and you mentioned to me you've been doing music. For the guest, how would you describe like your music style? I don't want to put you in a genre. I like to let the artist do that. So how would you kind of describe your music to the listeners?
Well, thanks. Right now, currently, I would just be generic and say singer-songwriter, but for me, it's everything stems from guitar and my voice. So there are plenty of genres that you can throw around with that. Probably most accurate would be like a southern soul, maybe. I don't know, like that might be if that's a genre. Like not quite country, but not quite like anything else. I guess it's a guitar, so generally you think country music with a guitar. So or
No,
folk,
but
you know.
but I like that you gave it more of a description. That's why I didn't want to say it because I mean country is a very wide genre and like you said, like the soul like part of it, people might consider that country, but there's a very big distinction between like the type of music you make and like Taylor Swift and like
Yeah.
like the very basic country. And I think unfortunately too, country sometimes like some people aren't as willing to check out like if you tell someone who's not a country fan to check out country music, it's a harder sell. But if you were like, oh, it's like soulful rock with guitar, people are more willing to check that out. But that's not that different from country music. Do you ever personally feel like you run into that problem with people explaining it to them or no?
Well, are you a country music fan?
I
Or
like
kind of
country.
not really, or
I like country music. I've been to Stagecoach. I enjoy it. I'm not like a diehard country music fan, but there's certain people I enjoy.
gotcha. Well, I think I grew up with a little bit of resentment
Mm-hmm.
towards country, even though I've always loved it.
Yeah.
More so because I'm born and raised in Nashville. My mom sang country music.
Okay. Yeah.
And I want people to be careful when they hear like resentment towards it, because I mean I grew up on Willie Nelson and Merle and all the old country
Yeah.
guys. It was more resentment towards like a lot of the new country stuff.
That's fair.
But since I've gotten older, I've learned to love a lot of new music, because
Mm-hmm.
people that are like, oh, the music used to be so much better, most of the time they're really just kind of probably they're probably just being lazy
Yeah.
with finding the music that they like, because there's plenty of artists out there that you
Yeah.
can find. So I mean country right now, if you want to go listen, there's plenty of amazing artists, you know.
No, exactly. I was talking about this with, I'm pretty sure my guest last week. We were talking about how, like, it's safe to say country music. If I was like, on a game show and I was like, what group do you associate with country music? People would say white people, and not a lot. Like, there's more black people that don't like country music than do that probably. Especially, I live out in California, and country music popular out here, but not like the South. And we were talking about Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey, that song. Like
Hmm.
I all my teammates growing up didn't like country music. The ones I met at college weren't huge fans of country music either. Like I knew guys that never would listen to it, but anytime Tennessee Whiskey by Chris
That
Stapleton
song
came on, every motherfucker was singing that song. Everyone, every person
I
knew the
know,
word.
dude, it's funny.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. That's exactly, no, that's what you're saying when you're saying people are lazy and they don't find the genre they like because, you don't necessarily be like, oh, like I don't picture like a group of black people liking country music as much, but then everyone I know loves this one song, and Tennessee Whiskey is very much a country song, like a very country, like it fits very well in that
Oh,
genre.
it's
So
Chris Stapleton is country.
yeah, to the bone, and so I think
He's
that's
southern to a T. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's you brought up a really good point, is kind of my whole point of rambling is just that you're right. Some people are just kind of lazy with music because you can really find anything you like. Like I listen to reggae, I listen to rap, I listen to rock, I listen to country, I listen to some EDM. Like there's you can find anything you like, anything if you're willing to go look for it. I guess is a good way
Absolutely.
to put it.
And that goes beyond music. So,
Hmm. Yeah, that's very, very true.
I mean, you can find people get caught up in the people. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I want to hear what you have to say, bro. Don't worry.
Well, I was going to say you can take it a step further. You can take it past music. People get caught up in not liking somebody for certain reasons. I'm like,
Yeah.
just find what you like about somebody, you know? So,
Yeah.
find what you like about each genre, find what you like about each person, find what you like about whatever, you know?
That's no, dude. That's a really good. Yeah, it fits in all aspects of life. It's not just one thing. I wanted to ask too, how long have you? So you said your mom sang country music. So have you kind of been doing music your whole life, or is there a point that you kind of like? To me, I know the day I started comedy, and I guess it's a little different because I got up on stage. So is there like a date for you? That's how long you've been doing music? Is it when you got up on stage?
Oh, I've been doing it. I mean, I've been singing since I can remember. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
also been playing football since I could remember. So it's kind of
Yeah.
go hand in hand. Like I
Yeah.
woke up, it's one day you realize you're a person and you're doing music and you're doing football. So
Yeah.
those were kind of always what I did. But I didn't start guitar until my going into my senior year of high school. So that was a more
Okay.
recent addition. I was
Yeah.
always like singing and stuff and performing and stuff growing up, but then the guitar kind of was a recent add.
Was it easier to pick up because you felt like you had been, around music your whole life? Did you feel a little like you had a little cheat code or anything like that, or no?
Definitely helped.
Uh-huh.
Having been doing music already. So, and I say I've been doing music. I mean, I was doing the typical high school stuff, everything I could get into. I was trying to
Yeah.
do everything. It wasn't like I was doing anything crazy, but um yeah, it definitely helped. And it also helped that in my high school, I did a lot of different creative things, like whether it was art or whether it
Yeah.
was I did some comedy stuff with
Uh-huh.
like a thing in high school, and I was just trying out new things. And I got to college, I didn't have those opportunities, so I
Mm-hmm.
funneled all of that energy into playing guitar.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, no, that's a great way. You hear a lot about musicians doing all kinds of different avenues like that to kind of figure out your creative side. So that's cool that it's cool that you took advantage of that in high school, because I'm sure there's people that wish they could have taken more advantage of, choir, the shows, the plays, the red availability of programs and clubs that you can join. Um, okay, so when you went to college, so you said you started playing the guitar your senior year and then you went off to college. Did you feel embarrassed or nervous at first to share with your teammates kind of your other that the music side of you, or no?
For better or for worse, not at all. I
Yeah.
was not nervous to share with anybody,
Okay.
which might not have been a good thing, but
Yeah. It's just
but
bothering
I
people.
was unabashedly just playing guitar for people. Um, but yeah, no, I didn't care.
That's good though. Yeah, okay. I was just curious because I don't know if I ever talked about with you when we met, but in high school, me and my friends, we used to do rap music. It was terrible. It was not good. Just by looking at me, you could tell it probably wasn't
Nice.
very good. But when I got to college, like I stopped kind of my senior year of high school, and then I got to college, and I remember I was like, I didn't want anyone to find out about it. And then when I was off at Murray, the last like semester I was there, I really wanted to do stand up and I didn't want anyone to know. And there was even like a bar in town that I tried to do it at on a music night, and I was like so nervous anyone I knew was going to walk in. And so I was just curious as to it's interesting to hear though, like you said, you were kind of more like listen, like you wanted to show people. I was more timid and afraid to show people.
Well, no, I can relate to that too because
Mm-hmm.
I was timid to perform in like maybe a public setting.
Okay, yeah.
Like I definitely did shows um throughout college, but it was not as frequent as I probably would have liked because
Uh-huh.
I know it was never with a band, so it was just me up there.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to be the guy that was up there playing cover songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a while because I didn't start guitar till I was a senior to build a
Yeah.
repertoire of songs that I had written to play
Mm-hmm.
for people that could have been, a full set.
Yeah.
So for in the same way, I didn't want for a long time to go up in front of people, maybe in like a oh, this is a show type of a setting. When I said I was willing to show my friends, that was the extent. Like I was willing to literally play for
Yeah.
people in a room. I was willing to show up to someone's place and play for them, so a couple people. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't necessarily at the very beginning like I could care less. Let's go out in front of this crowd of people and just rip it and see what happens. No, of
Yeah.
course you're gonna know your boundaries and be like, okay, I'm not quite yet.
Yeah, no, I get you. And there's just, I mean, our two art forms are definitely different, as in, my cousin, he's played the guitar his whole life. He's a good singer. He, was in choir all through high school and all that. And he'll bring a guitar to like, a little hangout and he'll play it. late at night, and that's nice, and that's kind of more acceptable. So I get what you're saying. You could kind of, it's not as weird as if I like walked into a room and I was like, hey guys, want to hear me tell some jokes? Like
Yeah.
they're gonna treat me like a court gesture. But I didn't even, I
That's
didn't even
funny.
tell them really till I left. And then I kind of like, on my social media, they started seeing it. And I could even, and they're my buddies. I love them all, but and I'm sure you had the, similar friends, football players we're all very similar. Everyone just breaks everyone's balls over everything.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's
absolutely.
it's loving, but it's so mean. And I couldn't handle everyone just walking around the locker room being like, tell me a joke, funny boy, tell me a joke, tell me a joke. So I just stayed quiet, and then it was kind of
did
nice.
that happen, or did you just?
No, I just was like, I know that's gonna happen, because the thing now is like, and actually I'd love to hear if you ever get anything like this as a musician. This is how a lot of conversations go. Oh my God, you're a stand-up comic. And I'm like, yeah, doing stand-up comedy. Hey, you can check out my Instagram. Can you tell me a joke? And I'm like, dude, we're in a fucking Subway. Like, you want me to break into my routine right now in a Subway? What do you do for a living? Oh, you're a surgeon? Can you perform open heart surgery in the middle of this Subway? Like, so I get that all the time, is tell me a joke, make me laugh, do something funny. So do you ever get that as a musician, anything similar to that?
No, but it's
Okay.
also because I wouldn't really probably tell. I mean, I don't know. It depends on. I'd maybe try to slip by that avenue of potentially happening. If someone asks what I do, I'm not gonna be like straight up like I'm a musician, because I just finished football, so I would start with the whole, this is my situation. I wouldn't just be like music, because
No.
and then when I tell them the situation, they're not nearly as likely to be like sing something, because they're probably more likely to ask about something else.
No, I get you. And that's the thing though, is we talked, and pretty quickly I was like, yeah, I do stand up. I kind of based it off the person as I'm speaking to them. Like, you didn't strike me as a person who's going to be like, dance for me, monkey dance, or anything like that. But all the time, because my day job is I do refis and home loans. So if it's a person that's like aggressive, or really anyone over the age of 30, because people over the age of 30 love to be like, tell me a joke. So I'm always just, I do refis and home loans. Do anything else? Nope, not at all. Just a boring person. Because I get what you mean. You just don't want to invite people into all of those questions, I suppose, that come with it. So you said you didn't want to be the guy doing cover songs, which I think is cool. That you kind of, before you got up on there, you wanted to have your own sound, in a sense, and your own music. Do you have anything out for the listeners to go check out, anything like that?
My Instagram has some music you can listen to. I do have one song on Spotify and iTunes and all the streaming platforms.
Okay.
So they can listen to that.
For sure. Yeah. No, I just wanted to put people on anything if there was. I just listened to the song that you had on your Instagram. It's fucking great, bro. I really mean
thanks,
that too.
Dude. The most recent one?
Yeah, the one, gosh, I forgot the name of it, but you just
When the Fire Comes.
Yeah, that one. It was really, really good.
Thanks, dude.
And that's your original music, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
wrote that
cool.
about a month ago. So
okay. All right, I got a couple. I try to keep track of the questions because they just come in my head. Guys, go check it out. It's on his Instagram. It's great. When I listened to it and I mean this, I'm not just saying this because you're on my podcast, but I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I was like, did he write this? And I thought for a second it was like a professional. So I looked it up. I thought maybe you were doing a cover at first. Not as a knock to you by any means. I'm just saying it's really.
No, it's a great compliment.
Yeah. I just want to, some people are like, oh, so you're saying I can't make, real music.
No.
I can only. I gotta feel you out, man. I can't have you freaking out on the podcast. Can't lose control of my own podcast. You know what I mean? Funny. Gotta make sure you're not wild. But when you so oh wow, I'm actually so excited to ask you this question. I don't have this written down. Okay, you're a musician, you write a song, you write these words. I'm sure the basis of a song when you come up with it is off something in your life. When you write lyrics and you have lyrics maybe about like a love or something emotional, is every lyric you write about an experience in your life, or do you feel that sometimes you use like what's it, like a writer's license to kind of make things up, make it more relatable to people? Because as a joke writer, there's jokes that I tell and that are some of my favorite jokes to tell, and it's based off a truth, and I added some stuff that's not true because not everything in real life is as funny. So do you do that with music ever or no?
I have,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, it's at least at this point of where I'm at, and I'm sure my opinions will change
Yeah.
the more I write,
Yeah.
because even just a year ago or 2 years ago, the
Yeah.
way I wrote is different than the way I write right now, and that's great because I look back at older songs and I'm thinking, oh, that's interesting that's what I was thinking at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But where I'm at right now, I generally have something that like sets off kind of emotion in my head about where I'm going with the song.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times I'll set up my mic or my little phone audio recorder, and I'll just play what I'm playing and say
Mm-hmm.
the words that just come to my head, and then I listen
Yeah.
back and I'm thinking, oh, I like that, or oh, I don't like that. And I kind of formulate it from that a lot of times. And
Okay.
and a lot of my songs aren't necessarily, okay, well, I can say this because this is more relatable. It really is my experience. So
Okay. Yeah.
I try to, and if I think something will be more relatable, then sure. I mean, yeah, I'll write
Mm-hmm.
that. If I can relate to it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily, I'm not out here trying to write gimmicks though. Like,
Yeah, I
this is
get you.
relatable because this is going to hook them. Like,
Yeah.
no, I want to write something that people can connect with,
Yeah, I get you.
because that's why I'm writing the songs
Yeah.
for people to connect to it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the goal.
Yeah, I get you. I think it goes down to just kind of different art forms. That's what I wanted to ask, because by no means am I saying like I just like see a tree and I'm like, let's write a joke about how I fell out of a tree, even though I know, I'm
No,
just
I get
like,
what you're saying. I get what you
yeah.
mean.
For the listeners, like anyone who's listening and kind of knows my comedy, if you go onto my Instagram and listen to the joke I did about I was in Korea in a bathroom and there was like this weird Asian dude, and the final punchline in the joke, I'm like, and I sucked his dick. I obviously did not suck his dick, but
Yeah.
that's like it was the funniest avenue out of a true scenario. I can't just be
Yeah.
like, and then I left the bathroom uncomfortable and thought, wow, that was weird. Everyone would be like, the fuck? That's not funny. So I
Yeah.
guess I guess there's more in comedy, more like I gotta be more ridiculous. You can be more down to earth and real, and that's just honest. Like if you're just a down to earth real person, like you said, you're just sharing your truths and your opinions, where as a comic, I guess I just have to be a little more like flamboyant and outgoing with.
I get that. And do you think you maybe have a difficult time with that, or is that something that you enjoy because it gives you like that
Um,
creative um
I
uh
I, I like it. I like
liberty?
it. I like being able to change it up. I don't do this on a lot of jokes. A lot of jokes are true. Like my process for writing a joke is right now, if we were talking, a lot of jokes come from the podcast through casual conversation, but me and you were talking about something funny, and like I tell a funny story and you're laughing your ass off at it, then I just take my notes out and I write down like, you know, toothbrushes, like if we were talking about toothbrushes, and then I
Yeah.
go back later and I try and structure out that story, less of like me just blabbering and more like blah 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 punchline, da 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 punchline. And so there's a very complex like structure in a sense to writing the jokes. The changing of the story is something that is like sprinkled in throughout my comedy, I guess, is a better way than it's not all the time by any means. Like the most recent joke I wrote was about a bike lane, and I hate bike lanes. And it was because I was driving and a bike lane was fucking up traffic, and I was like, I hate bike lanes. Why the fuck are bike lanes a thing? And I was like, oh, this could be a joke. And then everything I wrote about the joke really has happened to me. But there's also, like I said, scenarios with the story in Korea. I just didn't have a way to end the joke. And it was like the guy was being very sexual to me. So, and I was uncomfortable the whole time. So you lead them this way, and then it's like, and boom, I sucked his dick. And they're like, whoa, like you seemed uncomfortable the whole time. So I don't know. I guess there's that and that might sound complicated to some people.
No, dude. What I thought was cool about that. I actually continue. Sorry, I want to.
No. That was kind of it. I was just talking in circles at that point.
Well, dude, I thought what was interesting was that you, in conversation, get inspired to write something funny. That's great.
Yeah,
because it's not as direct with conversations to music, I would say. I mean, it of course I'll hear people say something, I'm like, oh, that's a good one, or that's something. But I feel like almost in everyday conversations, you are almost practicing what you're doing on stage in a conversational way.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, that's 100% true. There's definitely, it's one of those things where, a lot of my material, like I always tell my friends, like y'all help me write so much of my material, because funny conversations I see happen from that. And then the cool thing too is like, if I ever have like a concept for a joke, I can casually throw it into conversation. And if it's funny, just like if it makes someone laugh in conversation, then no doubt when I take it on stage, it's going to make someone laugh. And so there is that, comedy is difficult, but I do, like you said, have that cool thing where even if right now, if there was a concept I was really trying to work with, I could throw it into this podcast and see how you react. And if you think it's funny, I'm like, yeah, let's take it that angle. Or if you're like not laugh at all, I'm like, okay, that angle's a miss. And you can do little things in everyday conversation to see how jokes work. So yeah, you're right. It is cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I haven't really thought about it that way.
Yeah, because I'm sure, it's always, I always love having other artists on this podcast of different forms, because I consider us so similar, where we both have, the long shot dream with the grind, and we have passion, and they're both art forms that speak truths from our lives, but they're also so astronomically different. Like I can tell you firsthand, nothing is worse when I'm on a comedy lineup and I have to follow music. And I'm sure if you're ever a musician who gets to be on a comedy lineup, you're going to be like, why the fuck am I on a comedy lineup? Because
dude, I feel like I'd actually probably enjoy it, because I would be the change of pace. So, I mean, I could be wrong though, because they're probably not there for me. So
I've seen good and bad. I think again is because you're a guitar and maybe your energy can fit it better. But oh shit, I did a show. My bad, guys. I knocked the mic over. I did a show recently where I followed a rapper, and I felt bad. I felt bad for him more than me. Like I ended up having a good set, and I was able to get the room back. But like I felt bad because all these people are sitting down and they're here to go, ha 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 ha. That's funny. Penis, farts, butts, ha 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 ha. And then there was like 4 comics that went on, and then they were like, haha, thank you for my time. And the host comes out, okay, our next boy is a rapper coming on. Here he comes. And then he gets on and he's like, hey, yo, man, turn the fuck up. And these, people are now sitting down and watching it. But then if he's able to get them turned up, now you go, okay, guys, thanks. Sit back down and laugh again. So
yeah, that kind of seems counterintuitive.
It's very hard. People do it and people have good sets, and there's shows where it works. I think it's a big part of the type of music. Like if you made music like Wheeler Walker Jr., you would crush at a comedy show. But if you're gonna follow me and my clothes, I'm talking about dicks and shit, and then you come up and you're like, I wrote this song about a woman I love. Like that is a very tough sell to get the crowd into that. It's not easy.
Yeah. No, you're very right.
Fortunately, you're in Nashville, which is like a very music heavy town, so it's probably the other way around, where it'd be more a comic on a music thing. But I'm sure we're all young in our career. We're gonna have terrible gigs. Do you have I mean, some people don't, like you're new, you might not have it yet. You said you're not getting up on stage right now as much as you want to. I mean, it's hard with Corona. Do you have like a really funny, terrible bombing story or no?
Oh, I was gonna ask you that actually, but I don't have a bombing story
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, my performance is more so precedented on me
Yeah.
than the audience. You kind of
Mm-hmm.
have to have a back and forth,
Yeah.
which is probably tough. And I do too, but as long as I play the song well and I think it sounded the way I wanted it to sound,
Yeah.
if people aren't into it, then I'm not gonna. I don't know. It's just the way it
Yeah.
is.
When you, because kind of when you get on stage, people kind of are like, oh, he's singing, let me be respectful, let me shut up. I mean, of course, there's people who will talk and stuff, but like literally, like part of comedy is like I'm in the middle of a joke and someone's like blah blah blah, and then I have to like, I have to either make fun of them or take what they said and make it funny. Like the crowd participation is kind of just part of comedy in a sense, where people can just shout shit out,
Yeah.
interrupt your set, and you have to deal with that. I mean, I've done bar shows where guys are like there was, I did this show and these guys were like, I had them laughing, and then they brought shots to their table and they were just screaming, like they were like shots, 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 and they're videotaping each other. And like I just had to be like, yo, and like be like, let me take a shot with you. And I was like narrating them taking shots and making fun of their faces and stuff like that. And that's just like little shit that you have to do. But okay, the worst bombing story that I have is I was about a month into comedy, so I'm very new. I don't really do crowd work very well. Like I go up in my head, I have this many jokes I'm telling, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm getting off stage. Like
Yeah.
it's very,
Structured.
repetitive, structured. And I got on stage at this place called the Chatterbox, which is it's out here in California, and there's like normally 60 or 70 people there, which is pretty big for an open mic. You get a 3-minute set. And if you go up early in the night, because it's all random, it's lottery, you get the whole crowd there. And I got up like 10th. So I have the whole crowd there. And it's a tough crowd. They're kind of half listening. I'm doing all right. Like I said, I'm a month into comedy, and I try and tell a joke where I wanted to say people of color. And instead I said colored people. And
Oh
I did.
no.
And listen, dude, it gets worse because I'm up there and I'm like, yeah,
Oh
man, I grow a
no.
neck beard. It looks like I call colored people racial slurs. And then I'm like, I don't realize that I say colored people. No one's listening to my set, dude. And then this one black guy in the front row goes, ha, this man said colored people. And then all of a sudden, now I am realizing like, oh fuck, I said colored people. I should not say that. That's something that someone might fight me over. And I'm like, and now the crowd is like rippling effect. And like, oh, and he's like, and this dude is like laughing, and like he can tell that I'm uncomfortable. He's like, look at him. He said colored people. This white boy said, and everyone went from not giving a fuck about my
To
set
going
to
after you.
everyone. And dude, I went, ha ha, thank you. That was my time, and got off stage and left and just never went back.
Damn.
Just had to take the coward's way out, dude. It was rough. It was bad. It was yeah, it was bad, dude. And it was awkward. And like, I didn't mean anything bad. I literally just said, I flipped 2 words and it turned me into being racist. And I lost the crowd and I was fucked.
Yeah.
And it was awkward. And yeah, that's
I
definitely
would
probably.
I would say that happens to you today. So you're not a month into comedy. Would
Yeah.
you run off stage or would you try to fight through it?
No, I would definitely be like, as soon as I realized I would said it, I would be like, what's hilarious is I meant to say color, like people of color, but I'd be like, but don't I look like I say racial slurs? Don't I look like I was just storming the Capitol? You saw me there. I was on Fox News. Like, and I would play into it and save and try and save face. It might not work. They might just be like, fuck you, get off stage. And then I would probably get off stage. But now I'm at the point in my comedy career where like, I it's not that I don't care that I bomb. But bombing is just what comes with the territory. There's going to be nights where I just eat shit and I'm not funny and no one laughs and my jokes are terrible and nothing's hitting, but there's nothing I can do. So you just sucks. Just work through it. It's a shitty 10 minutes. Luckily I'm at the stage right now where I do 5, 10, 15-minute sets. So, at worst I'm like, there's 14 minutes left. But there's a point where you become a headliner and you're doing 45-minute shows and you bomb. Like 45 minutes of just
That would be
sadness.
tough.
It's going to get tough. But a comedian told me good advice. And he said, listen, man, just because no one laughs at your jokes doesn't mean you bomb. It just was an off night. Some of those jokes are funny somewhere else. He says, I don't count it a bomb unless people are booing or telling me to get off stage. And I was like, that's kind of a good way to look at it. So you're not negative, because comedy can be very negative because you just, especially right now, like you only have, there's no shows with COVID. And like I had a show this last weekend and I just did all right at it. Like I didn't do bad, but no one there was going to be like, I'm a fan of this guy now. Everyone was kind of just like it was a very mediocre performance. Like I don't have another show booked till fucking May. So, and there's a chance I get booked on more between then, but as of right now, that's just the taste I get to sit with in my mouth until I have success again. So it's
Did you go to Austin, or have you been there?
I'm moving to Austin June 1st is when I move. And so I'm moving out there. I've visited once when I was like 18, and I'm visiting to go check out apartments in April. I got like a weekend. Nice. I'm flying out there. I had some extra points from college and all that. But yeah, man, guys, make sure you go check out his music. You can see it on his Instagram and Spotify. I could talk to you more about like this artist stuff for hours because I find it enjoying, but I want to move into one of the first segments, which is the Avid Deserter segment. Here is where I get your top 3 desserts and your least favorite dessert. All I ask is that don't be like ice cream, cake, cookies. Don't be boring. Give a little description, what kind of cake, what kind of ice cream, what kind of cookies, whatever you want. It can be we've had donuts. We've had all kinds of weird shit. So what is your top 3 desserts?
Number 1, I had thought about this for a second and I had to think about it, but I think probably a Sonic cookie dough blast.
Okay.
A good cookie dough blast from Sonic.
That's solid. Okay. Sonics are so popular in the Midwest and like the South, and they're not as popular out here. There's Sonics everywhere, but they're just like Sonics are like kind of looked down on, except for their desserts. It's the only reason people out here go to Sonic is for desserts. But
I know, and that hurts me that Sonics are looked down upon because I grew up right next to a Sonic, and that's just all I went to. So.
Yeah, no, we in Murray, Kentucky, where I went to college, there was a Sonic. That shit was popping at 7 a.m. or 10 p.m. It did not matter. It was fucking popping at Sonic. Always. I didn't eat Sonic the entire time I lived there, which is hilarious. But yeah, Sonic's always popping. And that's the thing is I'm sure some people might be like, ew, Sonic. The cookie dough blast is fire. I've had that out here. That shit's and it's just seasonal, a blizzard.
So when it's in season, you gotta get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you gotta get it.
Seasonal shit's fun. Like the in Murray too, we had a Dairy Queen that, dude, today's March 1st. It opens every March 1st through October 1st, and then closes for the winter months because they assume no one wants ice cream. And like on March 1st, there's like an hour line to get ice cream every year in Murray. Because there's nothing else to fucking do except wait for Dairy Queen ice cream.
Oh, in Oxford, when we got a Dairy Queen, they just put it in like probably 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
For like a solid 2 months, you couldn't go to Dairy Queen because the line was out of the parking lot into the main road, like extensively into the But anyway,
dude, yeah, we got a Chick-fil-A on campus, like not out of campus, in campus. At like it was called it wasn't the CFSB. I don't know what it was called, but it was our building with like student signups and the like student store and the cafeteria. So it was already this busy place, but now you have like Jim from down the street who doesn't go to Murray State taking up parking spots to get Chick-fil-A because it was the only Chick-fil-A in town and it had just got put in. So that shit was, yeah, like you said, you couldn't get in there for the first month or two. It was impossible.
That's tough.
What's your second favorite dessert?
Number 2, red velvet cake.
Okay, that's a heated subject here on the podcast. Some people, it's
really?
a very like a lot of people put it in their top 3, but a lot of people are like, I fucking hate red velvet cake.
Really?
And then we spent there was about a 3 episode
Where do
period
you stand?
where I'm like in the middle, which I know sounds like a coward's answer. I like red velvet cake, but I hate chocolate cake. And we did like, there was like 3 episodes where we were arguing like what red velvet cake was. In a sense, it's just chocolate cake with food coloring and like cream cheese icing. So I guess I do like chocolate cake if it's red velvet cake. I don't know, because I don't mind. I like if you handed me a slice of red velvet cake, fuck yeah. You hand me a slice of like the double chocolate cake, I'm gonna have to pass. It's just too much for me. I don't like the I don't like the chocolate on chocolate with the frosting is too much.
The frosting can be a bit much sometimes.
That's why
with the frosting stuff.
That's why I fuck with red velvet though, is because it's chocolate, which is strong to me, but you have cream cheese icing, which is such an opposite flavor. It kind of just like it calms it down. It makes it good.
Yeah.
So I like red velvet, but a lot of people don't like it, and a lot of people love it. So
yeah. And gosh, what was my number 3? I think just a Boston cream.
What's a
donut.
Boston cream? Oh,
Boston cream donut. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
what's your favorite kind of donut? Glaze?
Boston cream.
Oh, Boston cream is a flavor
like,
of donut.
Yeah. It's like filling, like a regular, like a donut, no circle in it.
Okay.
Chocolate on top. They put Boston cream filling in it.
Okay. I thought maybe that was like a chain that I just wasn't familiar
Oh,
with.
no.
Boston cream. Okay. I like donuts a lot. I think donuts are slept on both as a breakfast and a dessert. But have you ever had a cronut?
I've not.
Cronuts are fire. See, like, okay, Nashville's pretty pretty like liberal for the area, and I hate like, because liberal now it sounds like I'm talking about politics. I'm saying like California is very like fucking hippie, and we have juice bars and bullshit like that, and so does Nashville. But like cronuts, the reason why I'm saying this is a cronut is a croissant donut. So it's a donut that has like a bunch of layers, like a croissant. So it's a really buttery, flaky donut, and they're fucking amazing. But I don't know if you have them out there. Like I don't know if it's
even heard.
See, that's what I'm saying is, dude, they're so good. Maybe next time if you go into like a donut shop that looks more like a juice bar, looks like it belongs in downtown Nashville, then maybe they'd have one. Because dude, you gotta try one. They're so a cronut. Yeah, it's a croissant donut.
Look up a picture of one.
Yeah, dude, look it up, because yeah, like I said, they're different texture and flavor than a donut, and they're so good. And I didn't discover them till like a year ago, and they're unmatched. They're so good. They got all kinds of flavors. They got cream filled ones, fruit one, like they're progressing.
Oh, so this is like a family of donuts.
Yeah, like it's a family of donut. You see how it kind of like it looks, you can see kind of the layers and how it's croissant like.
Yeah.
It's good. I just don't know if they're in other places besides very like modern bougie areas.
Yeah, I don't know. Next time I go to a donut shop, I'll ask if they got one.
Yeah, bro. They're unmatched. They're delicious. So Boston cream donut rounds out your top 3. What's your least favorite dessert? I always love hearing people's, like, mine personally is Jello. I can't fuck with Jello. It's lazy.
Oh,
it's
I didn't
just
know that
kind of
was even
boring.
Considered one.
Yeah,
I would
thank
probably
you.
throw that in there. Yeah. I'm not gonna say Jello because you just said it, but I need to preface this answer by saying I'm really not a big dessert guy in general.
Okay, fair enough.
Like I love the things I did mention. But it's not like it's not a regular. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not crazy. I'm not like a dessert fanatic. And so I kind of had a difficult time thinking of my least favorite one because when I do have a dessert, I typically enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I've had this, I might cut some people off with this because they're typically expensive. Creme brulee,
Dude, yes. Okay.
dude, they're so sweet, and it's like, why do I pay this much to break like this little film covering
And then
to get
eat
like a
like pudding.
liquid?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
pudding, like liquid. It's like watered down pudding. Okay. That's a great answer because several times that has been people's number one dessert, but several times it's also been like because the red velvet cake thing is like people have been like, I'm like, do you like red velvet cake? And they're like, no, not really. But a lot of people have been like, I fucking hate creme brulee. But it's also been people's favorites. I just had on my buddy from Murray, who is best defined as like a country bumpkin. He has the state of Kentucky tattooed on his arm, and he goes, "Yeah, my favorite dessert," or he goes, "My least favorite. I just tried it. Some girl made it. It's called creme brulee." And I was like, "The fuck is creme brulee?" And he goes, "Creme brulee. It's like," and I go, "Are you saying creme brulee?" And he's like, yeah, I don't know,
Oh
bro. I
man.
just have it written down how you would spell it. And I was like, that's not how you spell it. And that's not how you say it. You just have written down 3 words hyphenated. Like, so
Kentucky.
yeah, man, the education's not great there. Yeah, dude, I don't like creme brulee either. That's my mom's favorite dessert of all time. And I am not, it's like you said, it's
Eh,
it's so expensive.
It's not even that I particularly hate the taste of it. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
why am I paying this much for this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It
It's kind
feels
of
like
like a more of a stab at the restaurant serving creme brulee.
yeah, it's yeah, like it's I don't know. I mean, I guess it is cool. Maybe because it's French and they're not like, Americans, we eat like big fast food. Maybe desserts aren't they're supposed to be a nice few bites. What Because when I eat dessert, I feel like a piece of shit after because I eat en- enough dessert to feel like a piece of shit. I'm eating the whole bag of candy, the whole candy bar, two
True.
slices of cake, that type of shit. Where maybe in other countries desserts small. I don't know. This is a good. Now you have me
That's
thinking.
probably, I would assume so,
Mm-hmm.
considering America is a fatter country.
Yeah. Now I
I
gotta
mean,
launch
that'd be my guess.
an external international
Investigation.
investigation into the dessert community. Huh? Yeah. I wonder. I don't know. Fuck creme brulee though. I'm with you
You
on
seem
that one.
pretty in tune though with the dessert community already though.
Oh, I am gonna lose all my teeth by 35. They're gone. All I'm already looking at veneers, dude. I have an addiction to sweets. Like I
So
love
this is a daily thing.
yeah, yeah. No,
Gotcha.
okay. Like
I
at
mean,
least
no,
five.
I'm not judging you, dude.
No,
That's
no, no, no,
that's
no. I'm
perfect.
judging myself. I probably have dessert like 4 or 5 times a week. Is I Not every day. It's not it's for sure. I can confidently say it's not
Dude,
every day,
you
but
can do that if, I mean, one, you can do that just in general, so
mhm.
who cares? Two, you can have a diet where that makes sense.
No, no, no. And that's the thing is there's times where I'm in that nice balance where it's like, oh, I had like a cookie after dinner, like just so like, and I'm eating not a ton, but then also there's times where I go off the rails. I'm like, last night I ate fucking a row of Oreos. Tonight I ate a tub of ice cream, and like I fly off the handles. I don't know, dude. I just love desserts. That's the whole reason I started this segment. Is I was like, what do I know a lot about? And I was like, fucking desserts. And so now there's a fucking dessert segment on my podcast.
That's a good segment.
I used to eat candy bars on the podcast too and rate them. Like there was we had like 15 candy bars ranked, but with COVID and guests not being able to come in, I was tired of like I was running out of generic candy bars, so I couldn't like have you go. I couldn't just be like, hey, go get a crunch bar. Like
What
from
tops your candy bar list?
okay, my favorite is this is
And I
my
hope I'm not
personal.
covering topics that you regularly are asked
Nah,
because it
you're good.
sounds
You're
like you
good.
talk about candy bars.
I do, but we haven't done the candy bar segment in like fucking 5 or 6 weeks. So it'll be cool to
Okay.
revisit it for the consistent listeners and new ones too. My favorite is and this is a personal and I'll give like more kind of generic answers. I like Reese's Take 5 is my favorite candy bar. Have you ever had that?
Dude, I'm trying to. My memory
It's
says yes, but my memory of the taste doesn't. I don't know.
it's
I
like
wouldn't know what it tastes like.
it's in the Reese's family, same company, but
Oh
it's
no,
a
it's just Take Five. It just says
yeah, and
Take
it's
Five. It doesn't
yeah,
say
and it's like
Reese's
the
Take Five.
maybe it doesn't say Take Five Reese's Take Five. It might just say
I
Take
don't
Five.
know, dude. I
It's
want to say I
they come
have.
in like ovals and they're chocolate, caramel, peanut butter, and a pretzel
I
inside
have.
one thing.
I have
Okay,
had one.
those are my faves. And then like a more generic answer, rounding out my top three in rankings are Kit Kats and Snickers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm curious because Snickers and Milky Way, a lot of
Mm,
similarities.
yes.
Personally, I like Milky Way, but I
Okay.
also love Snickers.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have a Milky Way and a Snickers sitting down next to each other, I'm picking up Milky Way, which is
Mm-hmm.
not as popular, I would think, of a choice.
Yeah.
Where do you
Okay.
stand on
So
that?
I'm taking the Snickers hands down. But here's the thing. Again, when I was doing the rankings, so many people when I first was doing it, like, hey, what's your favorite candy bar? And a lot of times I could, just taste that one. I got so many Milky Ways. Like my girlfriend's favorite is a Milky Way. A couple other people love the Milky Way, and I don't like the Milky Way that much.
At all.
I don't think it's bad. I just am not the hugest fan of it. Like if I was craving dessert and you handed me a Milky Way, yeah, I'll eat it and I'll like it. But like not even a hesitation, I'm taking the Snickers over the Milky Way for me.
Wow.
But I get how people
Okay.
like it. It's just preference. That's why as silly as a segment as it is, where it's like, I'm doing a comedy podcast and he wants to know about candy bars and desserts. One, some of like the funniest clips always come from this segment because it's funny to hear people's desserts and people get passionate and argue about food. And also I like hearing people's different shit why they like it. Cause the lowest ranked is a whatchamacallit. Have you ever had those?
Dude, you're naming some obscure candies here. A whatchamacallit?
Okay, that's a genuine American candy bar because by the end of this segment, dog, you ever had a lion
Whatcham
bar made in Australia? You ever heard of
whatchamacallit candy bar? Sorry,
uh
lion. Say it again.
a
Lion something?
lion bar? That was one I tried it from England. There was the coffee crisp, which is from Canada. I started trying like very extravagant candy bars because I was just running out of shit. You know what I mean? After a couple of weeks, you tried the
Yeah,
basics.
exactly.
Yeah, the whatchamacallit suck, but there's some a lot of people were very upset when I
They
made that.
look kind of like what are they called? It's like a wafer.
Yeah, they're a candy bar. To me, they taste like a candy bar that's missing an ingredient. Like there's just
That
something.
makes sense.
They're boring, and you feel like you need like a nut for a crisp or like a caramel for a flavor or even something else for texture. I'm just not a big fan of them. But I wanted to move into talking to you about a couple more things. We got a few more segments. Um, you played football, obviously. You played at Ole Miss. You said you've been playing for your whole life and all that. You're a long snapper, right? I used to long snap in JUCO, and I was so fucking terrible. I don't know if I see because you're good at long snapping. I was like, he'll enjoy this. It was one of those things where like I hate saying it like this. I was just one of the better players on the team. And we didn't have a long snapper.
Yeah.
So they were like, fucking learn to long snap. And I was like, what? And I was our field goal snapper, which short snapping so much easier than long snapping. And I was I started punt long snap a few games, and I don't think I ever successfully made a snap back there. Everything I was
Was
really
it
good at
JUCO, you
one.
said?
Yeah, I was really good at one hops and really good at over the head snaps. I
So your
actually,
punter loved you.
yes, but here was the thing is I wasn't the starter. Like we had another guy, but he would get hurt and I would have to fill in and I would basically run out there and we'd see each other and I would go, "I'm sorry." Like I'm sorry. And he would be like, "It's okay. Like you play D-line."
He
And
understood.
yeah, like he was like, you didn't want to do this. I've never done this before. They basically gave me 3 weeks to learn it when they were like, become our long snapper, which you can
Damn.
attest is probably not enough time to be a decent long snapper.
No.
So I was just fucking terrible. I actually know I did get one snap down because I did put that on my highlight tape, and I listed myself as a long
Nice.
snapper. Got to get, more diverse.
Nice.
Yeah.
Diversification.
I remember they brought me out to long snap like my first couple days in Murray, and the coach was like, "You're a fucking terrible long snapper," and I was like, "Yeah, man, the clip you saw was the only clip I ever got a snap back there." He was like, "Yeah, just stop coming out." And I was like, "Cool."
Just don't do the snapping thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
and
It
like,
helped, though, I'm sure.
yeah, no, exactly. But too, when you get to that like the D1, D1 AA, even D2 level, they just start having guys who are only long snappers. They don't need a D lineman to also play long snapper. There's a guy who's like you, who's a fucking specialist sniper at long snaps and doesn't have to worry about that. I did want to ask you what, because you played at Ole Miss, obviously how were the home games? First off, awesome. Just the crowd
Amazing.
and the atmosphere.
Yeah, I love Oxford.
I can't imagine. Yeah, we played it at two different. You played at the 1A and we played at the 1 AA. So there's definitely a drop off in fan support and stadium size you play in. Do you have a favorite stadium or like favorite game you played? Just because the crowd was crazy or anything like that?
As far as like the craziness of, Bama and LSU are,
Yeah,
that's the typical answer, but it's true, dude. You walk into that stadium, I remember I think it was my first SEC away game, my second away game ever in general.
Yeah.
I go out there, and we couldn't do a cadence that game because
it was too loud, right?
Too loud. So I'm looking between my legs back at the punter and the PP, which is like the guy standing behind me.
That was what I played too.
He had to. Oh, nice.
Shit sucks, bro. Fuck that position.
Oh, did you get clobbered?
Oh yeah, we did the rugby style, so I just got to slide sideways and have backup D tackles who were like, "I should be a starter, bro. I should be a starter." Just fucking my life up every second, every punt. But sorry,
that's
anyway.
awful.
Yeah, go back to your story. Sorry, I got some PTSD.
It wasn't even a great story. It was so loud. I had to go off of the movement of his foot. There was no set, because it's deafening. It's deafening.
Yeah.
But Bama, LSU was great. Not great, but fun because it's so loud. But
yeah, that's cool.
That's what my answer is.
That's cool, man. Well, I got to play at Georgia, so that was like the closest I got to play, and that was cool too. I
never got to play there, and I wish I had.
It was good, dude. It was funny because I've talked about this a lot. Sorry, guys, but I don't think I've ever shared this. The fans were like bullying us at first. Like, we came out and they're waiting for us and they're like, "You're a 90, like 90, you're a bitch." Like they were getting on people's hairlines. They were being funny and ruthless. And then by like halftime, I'm pretty sure we were losing like 35-7 or something like that. And then, the third quarter, we were losing 42-10 or something. And then the crowd started to get nice to us again. Like we watched them. They were assholes. And then they became so nice. Like my girlfriend was at the game and she said people were like, "It's so cool that you guys came out to watch this game and the team made it out." Like we were like children or special ed kids that they shuffled out on the field to play.
Hurts. Yeah. But it's so funny because it's like, thanks. Like what?
Yeah.
Like what am I supposed to say?
Yeah, people were like, "Are you enjoying your time here in Georgia?" I was like, we just got our ass beat, but sure, I guess.
Yeah, I guess Athens is cool.
Yeah, you tried really hard. The first quarter, you actually had us nervous, and we were like, "Whoa!" And then we won by 70, and it's like, yeah, like, thanks.
That's great. Yeah, we didn't notice when we were out there playing in the game
Yeah.
what the score was.
Exactly. So yeah, it was cool, but just because we're that lower level, by the end of it, they were like, "You tried your best, champ. Like you're so good." So
Yeah.
that's cool, man. That's cool that you got to compete at that level and all that. Were you there when DK Metcalf was there?
He was actually yeah, we were in the same class in his locker room.
Uh-huh.
We were next to each other in the locker room.
Oh shit. I didn't expect you to say yes. I didn't prepare follow-up questions for this. That's so how is does he look as big in person? How big is his penis? How fast is he? Is he a nice guy? What's his credit card score? Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, no, dude, it was funny. He's yeah, he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes when you come into a recruiting class, there are guys you gravitate towards and guys that you don't. And it's
Yeah.
funny, even though our lockers were next to each other, he wasn't someone I would go hang out with a
Yeah, I
bunch.
get you. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, when he came in, it wasn't like immediately, oh, this is DK, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you got to think at that time, I mean, we had a lot of guys in that room.
Yeah.
We had Van Jefferson, who's with the Rams. We have
Mm-hmm.
AJ Brown, who's with the Titans. We got
Yeah.
him, and they weren't even like AJ started freshman year, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I feel bad. I can't even remember all the Quincy Adebojo. I mean, a bunch of big name guys, and so it was kind of like, okay, here's another guy that's in the mix.
Yeah.
Then eventually, obviously, he became who he became. So
Yeah, and he got his like I had no idea who DK Metcalf was until he kind of went viral for that picture where they're like 5% body fat and he was jacked. Was he that big in college, or did it kind of take that jump where he got, the pro trainer and the whole off season to prepare for the draft? Or was he just always a freak like that?
no, he didn't come in quite as big, but he's
Mm-hmm.
always been really big. And I say big, he's always been a freak, but it was like
Yeah.
he definitely he's really good with his nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so he definitely developed a lot when he got to Ole Miss.
Okay, for sure. Yeah,
I
that was
say he
something.
developed. He was already there, but he just grew into it more.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. DK, if you're listening to this podcast, what up, man? Hit me up. All right, bro. Okay, we're gonna do a little quick segment right here, and then I got some Nashville questions for you because Nashville sits very
Nice.
dear to my heart. But this one is called the Dumbass of the Week, brought to you by Red Foreman.
Dumbass, dumbasses, dumbass, 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 dumbass.
The dumbass of the week this week is Hasbro and Mr. Potato Head. Have you seen the stuff going on with his name is just Potato Head now. They are taking away the title Mr. Potato Head, and now he's just Potato Head because it wasn't gender inclusive. Listen, man, I'm a pretty progressive guy. This is a pretty progressive podcast. I'm from California and I'm a Democrat. So you think that I would be coming my pants over this, but why? Who gives a fuck? Like, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. I don't even know.
You're
what to
speechless
say.
right now.
I mean,
it's
I
not
also don't think.
surprising.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let that one be because
Yeah.
time's a better judgment than mine. So or Potato Head, I should say, not Mister.
Yeah. They neutered our boy.
I know, man. R.I.P.
Well, here's the thing that I don't get. Who the fuck is getting their anatomy lessons from a potato? Like, what? Who? Like, what?
I didn't
kid?
think people were gonna be up in arms about buying a Mr. Potato Head.
That's what. I just don't get. Look, I'm all for the movement and being more inclusive and being nice to people. And yeah, there's some shit I don't get, but if you think it makes a difference, to each his own. I with that stuff, it's more like people are always like, "How do you feel?" I'm more just like, I don't care. But this one was just weird because it felt very much like, we've had some moments where it's like, hey, are we going too far with this? And to me, this felt like the first one where I was just like, why? Like, I don't think you struck gender rights for people or made it more mainstream by doing this. I think if anything, you upset and made more people probably angry and less accepting of it because you changed a fucking potato to have no gender. It's a fucking potato, bro. Who cares?
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
know.
if Mr. Potato Head wants to be called Mr. Potato Head, or
Yeah,
Mrs.
what
Potato Head wants to be called Mrs. Potato Head, I mean,
yeah, and also and also there was a Miss Potato Head and a Mr. Potato Head. Make a potato head. I don't know. I don't know. This
so
one
they
just
completely just disbanded it.
yeah, it's potato head. Like from now on in stores, like if you have kids, you're gonna take your little son or daughter, and they're gonna be like, "Can I get a potato head?" And
I
it's
think
gonna
that
just
just wouldn't
say
sell as well.
well, also like, so is there not a mustache anymore? Like, or does he have like a mustache and like collagen lips? Like you can put either one on. You can make him like whatever gender you want. Like I don't know. I don't see the point. It seems like this seems like people are like, hey, we want equality, and then they were like, here you go. Here's gender neutral potato head, and everyone's like,
Everyone was asking for.
yeah,
It's
this
kind
you
of like
gotta
the Kylie Jenner Pepsi commercial.
exactly.
It's there to
This
save the day.
exactly. Potato head is gonna be the change we need in this country, and we're all gonna get along again, united by Mr. Potato Head or Potato Head, not Mr. Potato
Gosh,
Head.
it's so easy to slip into it.
I know, so not inclusive of me, but that's the dumbass of the week, guys. Okay, Nashville stuff. Why are there so many bachelorette parties in Nashville? Why are there so many?
I don't know. It's a bachelor. I think they've said bachelorette capital of
Mm-hmm.
the country or something. I don't. That's a tough question. I mean, I have never attended a bachelorette party, so
Yeah.
I couldn't give you a clear answer.
Yeah.
Guess. Um, Good restaurants,
Pretty
good
fucking
food.
fun.
It's always fun. You're gonna have a hard time going to Nashville and not having a good time.
Yeah. I
I
tell
don't blame the
people like,
bachelorette people.
yeah. No. Here's the thing. I'm more just kind of fucking with Nashville because every time we went to Nashville, like my friends would link up, like find a bachelorette party and become best friends with them. And they would have like the time of their lives. And Nashville's fun. And I always tell people, I think when I'm like Nashville, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to bars and two-step and square dance. Not on Broadway, bro. Like Broadway will play a country banger remixed with EDM on a rap beat, and you're like, this is the hardest shit I've ever heard. And you're packed into these bars. Do you have a favorite bar on Broadway? Because I'm familiar with Broadway. Out of Broadway, you're gonna lose me a little with Nashville. Broadway's more where I know Nashville.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a favorite bar.
Mhm.
Because more or less they are all pretty similar to me, just having
Yeah.
been from here. I mean, obviously every bar is different.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wouldn't say right now. I'm sure maybe I'll probably develop more of one because
Mhm.
I'm already someone that doesn't necessarily want to hit Broadway regularly.
Yeah,
That's
I
just how
get
I
you.
am. But yeah, no, I'm kind of just cool. If I'm with a group of people and they're hitting Broadway, it's like I bet I'm cool with wherever. So
Yeah, no, I get you. And I'm sure too, uh Broadway is kind of like Sunset Boulevard for LA, where which is like, has the handprints and the theater and the performers and all that, where I never go there. Like I'm like, avoid that at all costs because it's such a clusterfuck. So do you is in that for Nashville, is Broadway like, I'm sure you can have a good time there, but you probably
oh,
hit
I'll sometimes go to Broadway and have a great time. So it's
uh-huh.
not like taboo to go to
Okay.
Broadway.
Yeah.
People in Nashville go to Broadway all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to speak for everybody, but no,
No,
I mean if you
speak
go
for
to a
all of them.
Predator, yeah, I'm speaking for every Nashvilleian. No, dude, if you go to a Predators game,
Mm-hmm.
you maybe get dinner before, go to Preds game, then go out after, dude, after a win. That's hard to beat. It's a good time.
Yeah, no, it always. I'm sad I never got to go to a Preds game. That shit always looked so fun. Broadway, Nashville is such a cool city that I'll always kind of just I'll just kind of love because that was kind of our town to go out to from Murray. It was a 2-hour drive, but it was the closest big city we could get to. Our go-to was Florida Georgia Line FGL, like right off Broadway,
Yeah.
and then we hit Honky Tonk a lot because Honky Tonk we were able to sneak in during the CMAs all underage. So it was we were all 20 and we happened to be in Nashville, like picking up a friend from the airport. We were like, let's just go. And it was the only bar we could get into. And so that bar it like just holds near and dear to us because it was like
just
the sentimental
value.
Yeah, it was a breeding ground to our degeneracy. Like that's where we started throwing down drinks and getting fucked up like that. Yeah, man, I love Nashville. We're gonna move into the final 2 segments right here, kind of wrap the podcast up.
Nice.
This one, we did one already, but this is the Would You Rather segment, the original segment on the podcast. I got 2 more Would You Rathers for you.
Okay.
Would you rather fight 3 hyenas or 1 crackhead with a dull knife? See, at first I say the hyenas because crackheads are scary. Crackheads
That's your knee-jerk reaction is the hyenas?
Do you not have a lot of? Does LA have more crackheads than Nashville?
Bro, a hyena, a pack of hyenas takes down a lion.
But isn't like 3 less than a pack?
This logically, dude.
Okay.
A lion can get taken down from 3 hyenas. You think I'm gonna take 3 hyenas on? No.
Okay.
Dude.
All right.
No,
all right.
Human
fair
human
enough.
is my fight.
All right.
Crackhead or not, you might have some superpowers, but dude, no.
1 hyena and 1 crackhead. Does that change it for you? Does that make it harder?
I'm still taking the human. I mean,
Hey,
I don't want to.
Funny.
I don't know how to fight a hyena. How do I attack it?
Kick that bitch. I don't know. Getting up in a tree.
Do I get a weapon or is it just barehanded?
Bare hands. I mean, you can pick up a rock. I guess. I don't know. I guess I agree with you. The crackhead probably is the better because you might even like he's going crazy and then you're like, if you stop kicking my ass, I'll buy you more crack. And he's like, oh, word? Like the hyena is not going to stop.
It's true. You could barter.
You know what's terrible is originally this question was 5 hyenas. And I was like, no, that's too unrealistic. 3 is. I didn't think about how 5 hyenas would fuck both of us up.
Yeah.
We would need 5. We would need 5 humans to maybe beat 5 hyenas.
I was having this debate. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was one gorilla and 5 of your boys.
Oh, no way. That gorilla fucks us up.
I was setting, so if it was like a betting line, I would set in the betting line at like 5.5. I think there's 6 of us. I think we can get out of there.
There's definitely casualties.
There's going to be some casualties. Yeah. No, for sure. Casualties.
You got to give though. Not all of us are going to make it out of here tonight, boys. But we're going to take this gorilla down.
That gorilla's going down. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Also, I feel like, these questions are like the would you rathers are supposed to be hard. And if you have a weapon, yeah. But I think if you're just like a gorilla comes into a room, like the gorilla's going to immediately, the first person the gorilla grabs is dead. They're dying that day. But like if the gorilla is attacking him and like, one person's probably just going to punch the gorilla, which is not a great idea, but that's okay. Because like if I grab like there's a chair in this room that I'm in, there's probably a chair in your room. There's a chair in most rooms. So I hit him with a chair. I'm grabbing the fucking fan in the corner and hitting him with a fan. I'll hit him with this mic stand if I have to.
Yeah, I mean any and everything.
Yeah, you're gonna need blunt objects, but that's not unfair because you're not saying what blunt objects. You're just like, hey, there's gonna be blunt objects in this
and you're
room.
Gonna have to be. I mean, you got to think. You got 6 people that are able to communicate. You got to be strategic about it.
Yeah,
I'm coming. I'm throwing stuff. We're getting him dismantled. From, that's
you got to distract them. Okay, yeah, I think I'm with you. I think 5.5 is a good number.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that a poll on my Instagram. I'm gonna tag you in it. Do you and 6 friends think you could beat a gorilla? And I want to see what people have to say. I think we're gonna get a lot of yeses, also because people are overconfident.
What, you and 6 friends, or just you and?
It's you and 5 friends. Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't matter either way. It doesn't
Well,
matter.
I mean, the more number, like if you were like you and 10 friends, I'd be like, we whooped that gorilla's ass. Like if you gave me a
Dude,
starting
you'd be
11,
surprised. I've talked to some people that would be like, no chance.
I know I'm joking because gorillas are scary. Who would win a fight, a gorilla or a full size gorilla or a full size grizzly bear? Grizzly bears are bigger than gorillas.
I'm in the grizzly bear boat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Gorillas
of
with
people
their
are in the gorilla
opposable
boat.
thumbs are what gets me. But grizzly bears, I mean, grizzly bears stand on their hind legs and they
Dude,
can
have
bite.
I think they have like 400 more pounds though. I
And
could
they
be
got
wrong.
I think they got a little more bite force, and gorilla and like while yes the monkey can pull, the gorilla can pull, the bear is just has claws on every hand, like lethal claws.
Yeah.
So he has more weapons. Okay, last one. Would you rather have no kids or 5 kids? No in between. You either get 5 of them right then, like you get a 5 in 5 years or none ever.
I'll roll with 5.
You're gonna roll a 5. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I was excited to ask you this question because you're also, you're from the Midwest, South, whatever the fuck Tennessee declares. I know people
South.
say Tennessee. Yeah, which geographically, no, you're not, but we'll give it to you. I mean, you're
That's fair.
you're as south as fucking Fresno in California, which no one in California would call Fresno the South. That means nothing to you, but that was for my California people.
I hate
Fresno's. I have a gig. That's my first road gig coming up is in Fresno, and like shout out Fresno for having me, but like Fresno's pretty
Oh, there
gross.
is something wrong with you. Have some beef with Fresno.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just Fresno's just Fresno is just like there's nothing but crackheads and desert. Like that's all. Like Fresno's in the middle of California. So like once you leave Malibu heading up north, here's like Sacramento, the Bay Area. Everything between there is just bullshit farmland and desert with crackheads and nothing going on. And so
I can
Fresno,
tell where all your listeners come from.
yeah,
Probably...
not from that middle area. We don't
Just
those
kidding.
those people don't have the technology to listen to my podcast. Just to fucking
Really?
ancient time. No, I'm just kidding.
See now, I believe you because out here, we just
Yeah.
assume everyone in California is like wizards, with like with iPads on their waistband.
You're just born with one. They're like, here's your baby and your iPad. Thanks for coming to this hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's parts of like that's why like there was a comedian I heard do a joke where someone was like, everyone complains that, I live in Texas and I can live off the land and rent's only $300. And they're like, dude, go to fucking Fresno. Like go to the middle of California is just like the Midwest. Farmland, cheap, not, very simple life, rural, spread out. But no one wants to live there. They all want to live by the beach. And then they're like, why does it cost so much to live here? And it's like, well, because you don't wake up and think about killing yourself every day. Like that's the price that comes with it.
You are still living in a desert at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. California is like majority desert and we like are known as beach. So that's kind of why it gets fucked up. But I'm going with no kids, dude. And we got off on that tangent, but I was saying like Southern people like to have, I feel like there's more like having 19 kids is more acceptable. Just mostly because if I had 5 kids in California, we'd be homeless unless I was making.
Oh, you're thinking more
millions.
financially.
Well, also, I just don't want. 5 kids sounds
No, I
like
get
the
that.
worst thing.
I'm
in the
also not
world
going to
me.
have kids until I'm ready to have kids. But
No, I
if
agree
I'm
with
ready to
you.
have
Well,
kids,
that's what
I'd
everyone
rather have
says.
5 than none.
Yeah, I guess.
If I hit an age where it's like, man, I really want kids, and it's like, well, too bad, you got 0. Then I'd be like, hey, come on, man, I'll take 5. That's what
man.
it takes.
I don't know. I'd rather buy a dog than have to make 5 different sack lunches. Like that shit sounds
Wait, you gotta say
terrible.
that again. Sorry.
I'd rather get a dog than have to make 5 different sack lunches to take to school. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
you're thinking, yeah. I wasn't thinking on the day-to-day level, more of like
they just seem too much work.
meta. Like,
I guess you're right.
how do I want my life to look?
I mean, yeah, your life's like not having kids is a very big like lifelong commitment. So there is that. Just 5 sounds like Philip Rivers has 10. That's so
That's
many.
tough.
That's
No,
tough.
that is commitment.
he can only do that because he's like his 25 million he made last year for the Colts. Every dollar of that is going to his kids for something, for braces, bullshit like that. There's no way it's not.
I don't know where I heard this, and this could be completely false.
Mm-hmm.
But I depending also on a lot of factors. A
Yeah.
kid averages about being $1 million
I read that or heard that
from like
one time
0 to
somewhere.
18 or something. Like once
Yeah,
he's
no,
out the
that
house.
no, that's what I
Or
heard
she.
too. I remember reading that did you just cancel yourself in the I watched you
did,
cancel
yeah.
and uncancel you. You're like, fuck, I hope no one heard that. It's gonna be on all the tabloids tomorrow.
It was
Fuck.
like your mistake when you bombed in front of everybody.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sorry, guys.
I
I was getting
didn't
to
mean
it. I
to.
love girls. So it's like, oh, you love little girls now? You're like, that's not what I'm saying. Don't worry, dude. Not enough people listen to this podcast for it to have any negative or positive effect on your career.
I'm sure they're gonna get to this point and they're gonna say, I'm writing that guy an email.
Ooh, they're
right now.
Fuming. Listeners are just like, what? His email is in the bio. I'll include it so you can voice your opinions.
Oh, that's great.
Oh shit. All right, man. We're gonna move into the final segment, wrap up the podcast. This one's called The Last Resort Media. I just kind of put people on music, movies, and shit like that I've been watching, books, comic books, I don't know, whatever floats your boat. For me, I do a rating scale on here where I just do 1 through 3 for movies. 1, didn't need to see it. 2, you should see it. 3 is a must see. And it sometimes we'll do like a 2 closer to a 3, 2 closer to a
2
1.
is you didn't need to see it, or it's kind of like
2 is you should see it. 3 is a must see. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of and what we did is we modded my boy, shout out to Reynoso, came up with this scale, but we were running into a problem where like 2 is very vague. So we'll do, like 2 closer to a 3, 2 closer to a 1 to kind of vary it. You don't have to rate your movies like that. I know some people like to join in on the scale. For me this week, guys, I watched Ted 2, which I think is a 2 closer to a 3. I don't think it's a must see, but it's hilarious. If you liked Ted 1, the first Ted, then it's a must see. It's a 3. And then I saw Donnie Brasco, which is an old 1997 movie with Johnny Depp and Robert De Niro, or one of those like old mob looking fools. It's a mob movie about like an FBI informant in the mob. Donnie Brasco. It's really good. Do you listen to Part of My Take? You look like a guy who listens to Part of My Take.
I don't.
Well, sorry.
Unfortunately, yeah.
He was just, they had like the real life FBI informant on there, and it's like a big sports podcast with Barstool. And that's what got me to watching it. It's pretty good. It's just like a suspenseful. I mean, it's like young Johnny Depp. And if it's De Niro and not, it could be Pacino. I think it's actually Al Pacino instead. But both of them are younger, and it's good. I really enjoyed it. I'd say it's a 3. I think people, if you like mob movies, it's a 3. If not, it's a 2 if you're not into mob movies. And then TV, I'm still fucking watching The Walking Dead for some reason, and The Walking Dead's back. So I just want to know if there's any other sad souls like me that are still watching the show that's slowly burning to the ground.
I looked at it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro are kind of the same person. They do a lot of similar movies.
I disagree, dude. But
yeah, I'm also
thought.
just arguing to make myself sound smarter. There's no grounds on what on my claim by any means.
Yeah, they're the same person.
Yeah, exactly. This guy gets it. And then music, guys. Not anything really new that I've been bumping. I listened to a lot of like Sublime, Blink 182 this weekend. I was barbecuing and shit. So, white boy barbecue music. But other than that, man, it's your turn. Promote any movies or music. It doesn't have to be within the last week for you. If there's any good movies you've seen recently, anything like that, put the people on it.
What I should have said earlier, and I didn't, if you want to see a more comprehensive thing about my music, on YouTube, there's an episode this past season that we have a TV show for Ole Miss football called This Season. That they did an episode on my music. So if you type in Ole Miss football, Jack Propst profile,
I'll put it in the bio too, guys.
yeah, then that'd be a little fun thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
As far as movies I've watched this week, I'm behind the game, and I hate to admit that this is the first time I watched it in continuity.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it before, but in high school when
Mm-hmm.
I watched it, I fell asleep in the middle of it, which is kind of ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Inception.
That's amazing.
I don't know how I
Fantastic.
survived this long without watching it.
It's yeah, dude. It's a movie you can watch 4 or 5 times and notice something new and learn something new. And it's I think what like the best way to just shout out how good of a movie it is, you without spoiling anything, you finish the movie and you immediately want to watch it again
Yeah.
because there's if you haven't seen it yet, I like go watch it, but I'll talk very vague. When the ending happens, you realize a bunch of other things have been like it reveals a bunch of stuff about the movie. It's a big twist and turn. And so it's one of those things where you could go back and watch it again now knowing the twist and turn, and it's like a whole fucking different movie.
Yeah.
It's so cool like that. Yeah, that movie is phenomenal. But don't feel bad about not seeing it. I was talking about a movie from 1997 that I just saw. The movie's as old as me. Like, you guys seen this movie?
Yeah. That's funny. I also watched Soul last night.
Dude,
Uh,
did you
good
like
movie.
that?
I
That
really
movie was
enjoyed it.
great. I saw that about 2 weeks ago. It was
Gotcha.
phenomenal. Way deeper than I thought. I was not ready for like the deepness of a Pixar movie like
Man,
that.
I'm telling you, I thought it was great. It was very
Mhm.
it was very spiritual. So
Yeah, and it's cool because
good
it's
for
very
Pixar.
music influenced for you too. So
And
that was
yeah, I
yeah.
enjoyed that too. That
Hmm.
definitely helped. What
Anything
else?
else?
As far as music goes, let's see. Let's look at my recently listened to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I used to write it down, and then now I'm just like, let's see if I downloaded any shit this week that I'm like really messing with. I listen to too many podcasts to where my music shout outs are never that great because I'm late
I'll
to
s-
music.
I'll say what I've been listening to lately.
Uh-huh.
I've been listening to a fair amount of uh Brent Cobb,
Okay.
which is a songwriter, country guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then let's see the most recent. Let's look at the searched. I was listening to the Oh Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack, but that's I used to listen to that all the time. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Bill Withers, just classic, typical
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Willie Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
I stay on. I try to venture out, but
I got to see
oh, you
Willie
know who?
perform at Stagecoach.
I will. Oh, really?
Yeah, he was pretty old looking, but it was fucking dope, dude. Just to see like the legend himself
I
do a
know
set.
that. I have yet to see him, and I need to before he
Mm-hmm.
is gone.
Yeah.
But I will say this one girl I found recently. I say I
Mm-hmm.
found. She's pretty popular. She was just on James Corden, I think. Madison Cunningham. She's got some good
Okay.
music, and
Yeah.
she's not that popular.
Mhm.
That popular. She's not like mainstream and stuff. But no,
Yeah.
she's got some good songs. So that's who I was listening to this week too.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I'll have to check those out. That I do like country music and like I phase in and out of it with how much I listen to it, but
She's
I
more
always like
westernish, like
yeah.
Austin vibe kind of a thing.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, there's like a country dirt like his name's Co Wetzel and he's like Texas red dirt country and like
Yeah.
I love his shit because it's more it just varies. There's very country songs, very rock songs, very like soulful singing songs. It's just I think anyone can appreciate an artist when he has kind of like a range of music because it
Hmm.
doesn't because nothing's worse than like and all genres have it where there's the guy who or girl who sounds the same in every song
Yeah.
and that shit it can get old but some sounds I guess just don't rock with it till the wheels fall off if people like it but anything else you want to shout out otherwise we're gonna close up the podcast right now.
I think that's all from me.
All right, then, man. This is kind of the time I'll give you a second. We've talked about all your stuff a bunch, but promote anything besides that, shout it out. Everything else will be in the bio, but the floor is yours if you want to promote anything for however long you need.
Again, just follow me on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll post some stuff there that should be fun to see. So
Yeah, yeah, guys, make sure you go follow him. the link to his Instagram. He'll be tagged in all the things.
Even YouTube,
Yeah, YouTube.
TikTok,
Go
if you want
check.
to get a little creative. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. He's global, baby. But yeah, man, go check out his stuff, man. Thank you so much for doing the podcast. It was so fun getting to talk to you, talk to another artist about, seeing the musician side of you. Before I go, and I know the podcast is running a little long, guys, I'm sorry, but I ask this to every artist. What's your goal in 10 years? Where do you want to see Jack Probst as an artist? Do you want, what would be your ideal goal? Very simple. And you don't have to give me like every detail, but if you can just kind of sum up where you'd like to be in 10 years, what would that be?
That is a broad question, and I can go a multitude of directions with it.
Yes. I apologize.
No, don't apologize, because I love questions that leave a lot of discretion up to me or whoever's answering it. I would like a lot of things, not necessarily that are career oriented. I would like to be happy, though. I think that would probably be a decent answer.
That's a great answer. I don't think anyone's just said it as simple as they'd like to be happy, and that's a fucking phenomenal answer, because what that entails, only you are going to know, and only you're going to be able to tell yourself whether you're happy or not. But I think you will, dude. I mean, you got hard work ethic to play college football and graduate and do all that takes a lot. You have a great voice. I like your music. I think other people will like it. You're in a great city. So it's tough. You know what I mean? It's going to be a grind, but it's a good city for you to grow in. And I'm super excited to see.
Hey, and same with you. I'm excited to see you go to Austin.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm super excited. If you're ever in the area, hit me up. You can always crash. If you got gigs out there, you can always crash on the couch. If you can get, if you can get out, if you just want to come out to do the scene of music out there and you need a place to crash for a few days, just let me know, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Of course. Once you do the podcast, you're part of the family now. So, yeah, man, I'm going to wrap it up right now, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please go follow him. Go check out his music. Share it with friends, show it to people, leave reviews, guys, rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. We still have stickers and t-shirts available. Everything links in my bio, and they're in this bio if you need to check it out. Thank you. If this is your 50th time listening, or your first, guys, we're at episode 50. Thank you for joining me for episode 52, by the way. And most importantly, guys, thank you for letting me and us be your last resort. See ya.
This has been a Your Last Resort production.